Prem Solavindra Bihari Ki Jai. Sitaram, everybody. Let's all stand as we begin with Arati this evening. Om Sajam Cha Varti Sanyuktam Grahina Yojitam Mayam Deepam Grihana Devesham Trailokya Timidapaham. Jai Jai Bhagwat Bhagwan Ki. Everybody help me sing tonight.
पापियों को पाप से तारती जय जय भागवत भगवान की जय आरती पापियों को पाप से तारती अमर गंत ये मोती पंत ये पंचम वीर निराला नव ज्योति जगाने वाला
ये अमर ग्रंथ ये मोती पंथ ये पंचम वीर निराला नव ज्योति जगाने वाला
हरि ज्ञान यही वरदान यही
हरि ज्ञान यही वरदान यही
जग की मंगल की आरती जय जय भागवत भगवान की जय आरती पापियों को पाप से है तारती
मधुसूदना गौरी प्रिया शंकरा शिव गौरी प्रिया शंकरा शंभो महादेवा शिव शंभो महादेवा शंभो महादेवा शिव शंभो महादेवा शिव शंभो महादेवा शिव शंभो महादेवा
Let's pray together, everybody. Gajananam Bhutaganadi Sevitam Kapeta Jumbo
Palachara Bhakshitam
Umasutam Shu
Kavilashikarakam
Namami Viganeshwara
Parapankajam
Sarvamangalamangale. Everybody.
Shive Sarvarthasadhike
Sharanye
Trayambike Gauri
Narayani
Namostute
Guru Brahma
Guru Vishnu
Guru Devo
Maheshwara
Guru Sakshat
Param Brahma
Tasmai Shri
Gurave Namah
Om Namo
Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Om Namo
Bhagavate Vasudevaya
One more time. Om Namo
Bhagavate Vasudevaya
Vrindavan Bihari Lal Ki Jai. Everybody, please have your seat. Cordial welcome again to anybody who came in after. To all of you viewing online, Sitaram, I hope you can hear me well. Please send me a message if you could hear, so that the sound technician can make the adjustments to suit. Earlier today, our 17th session, this morning we started off with Govardhan Katha. And in that discourse, we learned how and why we don't do Indra Dev Puja. We learned of how Krishna gets the name Govinda. Lunchtime, we did the killing of Kans and how Devaki and Vasudev get to see Krishna and Balaram for the first time. She had never seen her child. Child is born and child is removed quickly for the purpose of life. And when they free in the discourse, it says the significance of this moment where he destroys Kans. It shows that the worst type of sinner, when you judge somebody and you think God doesn't like that guy or that girl, and God comes himself to pick up and to hold the most vilified, the person with the worst history, as in the case of Kant. And he takes the soul for himself, never to come again. He listens to the prayer of Devaki's father, the lady who is in the jail for children, the lady who is in the jail with Vasudev. Her father is Ugrasen. Ugrasen has been locked up long before Krishna born, long before Devaki and Vasudev got married. Kans is the elder of 8 brothers. And they overthrew their father. They couldn't wait for that throne. Envy and jealousy for that crown. They throws the old man into the jail cell. And for years ruled. When you think about it, when you hear on the day of Devki's marriage, the voice in heaven says, "O Kans, you fool, your destruction, your destructor is going to be born from Devki's body." At that time, what do we know of Kans? What wrong did this man do? And what we learn today is that he has been doing one crime after the other coming down the road. And now he became so inflated, he became so like he fed up sending people to kill Christians. From age, year after year, for this little boy growing up, he sent so many different demon and demoness. But nobody was capable, nobody came close. So he sends a message to Nanda Baba and he says, "Bring your sons," knowing fully well who these 2 boys are. And he invited many people from different families, different districts. And he says, I rule over all of you. You all pay taxes to me. And I want to celebrate you. I want you to come. We're going to have like our Olympics. We have a big arena and we have different sporting events, wrestling being one. And after they did all the minor events, they did the wrestling, and it was like a knockout. The lower guys will fight, the best of that will fight the next rounds. And so they went. Sit down, sit down. And Raja Parikshit wants to know, so tell me who is he fighting? And he names all the different demons. And you're going up and fighting animals. And when Kans sitting in the audience looking on at all the action, he couldn't take no more. There's a picture you see it sometime where a man is jumping into an arena and Lord Krishna, who looks like Lord Krishna, is standing there ready to fight. Kans couldn't take it no more and he jumps in now with shield and weapon. But this is wrestling. This is hand-to-hand combat. And you suppose, this is the description it uses is, these boys are between the age of 11 and 16. Not man, not little boy. Some are right in between, developing. So Guruji says it is as if a calf is going to fight a bull. A properly aged and seasoned warrior are about to face each other. But the seasoned warrior, who should have mercy and some little handicap should have been given to the younger one, he comes now to take advantage with weapon and shield. And when they jump over into the battlefield, into the arena, Krishna danced and played with him. And when he roared, Krishna roared back. This is one place that Krishna doesn't smile and he does not give any foot. He goes and he starts to beat him. One foot on the knee, the right knee jumping on the hip, and the other the knee is crossed on the shoulder here. And he starts to squeeze the neck of this giant of a man. Eventually, Kans is left dead, lifeless on the battlefield. And they go and they free Ugrasen, they free all the captives this man had imprisoned over the years. And in that list of people is Vasudeva and Devki. They are so busy in freeing people. People are coming, reuniting. The same people in Mathura now so happy that this oppressor is not there. That they were supporting Krishna instead of their leader. When Kans is dead and all the people started to free, you could imagine families were reunited. And Devki is afraid. Guruji says that Parikshit, their body is not royal and comfortable. They are nearly to starve in the way how their body became weakened and macerated because of the length of time being in that jail cell. Experiencing not royal treatment but poor treatment. Shakingly she holds on to her husband, the only person she knows for all these years, the only person she trusts. And when she comes out, she is still afraid in her heart that dead body is not really dead. Kans is not really dead. Who could kill he? He could get up just now, I'm afraid. And watching the body, she whispers to Vasudeva, which one? Which one is mine? Which one is my son? She says, I never got to see my son. I never got to hold him. He took form and you put him in the basket, and in the moment, I did not get to bond with him as a mother with my breast. I did not get to feed him. You took him for safety, and I stayed quiet because I did not want to see the head of this child burst on the wall. She says, please understand me. I am a mother who made 6 children. And one after the other, not only did they kill the child by holding the foot and swinging it mercilessly against the wall, but every day I had to watch that wall and see that blood stain get brown. Then a next child head mash. And for years I've been watching a stained wall. That is the only idea I have of my child. And the girl, she left. She jumped up in the sky and went back to the heaven. The 8th one is this one. I know he's alive, but I do not know my child. Vasudev says, you see that one over there, that handsome one, that dark one, with that pretty curly hair, that is your boy. And when she gets the opportunity to hold him, when she got the opportunity to hold him, she says, Guruji says to Parikshit, it was as if her purpose in life was now realized. That as a woman, she never got to embrace her children. And now she had that opportunity and she experienced true happiness for the first time. Now, when this happened, Vasudev is a very busy man. He starts to make preparation. He says, whilst I was in there, I had to give dawn when my children were born in my mind. I never get to do any sanskara. I never get to do any puja for them. But now I'm not wasting a moment. Now we are free. We are free. And he calls his Pandit and he says, you went and you did Nam Sanskar for Krishna and Balram. You gave them the name Krishna. You gave them the name Keshava. You gave them the name Sankarsana. You did that. Now do all the different sanskar we want to give them Janev. They get them christened or Guru Diksha is done. Who is the Guru of Lord Krishna? A person by the name of Sandapani Rishi. Sandapani Rishi gives them Diksha. He lifted his hand and he gave them blessing, Abhya Mudra, and then he whispered mantra in their ears. The father does all the rituals. He gives them Gayatri. He had them give them the deer skin, Janev, then the kush grass, then the one, the string itself. And in this way now, very quickly, time is short for them. They don't want to waste time. Go and live. Go and live by your Guru and accept the teachings and the training. We cannot be complacent when parents rob their children of opportunities because of their own jealousy and envy. Believe it, in today's world it have that. I will hold you back. I don't want you to get brighter than me. I don't want you to have more money than me or think you are better than me or you earn better than me. Don't go to school. Don't go to university. Don't go and apply for that job. They make poor excuses. I will worry about you when you're on the roadway. I'll worry about you when you're driving. I'll worry about you when you're flying. I'll worry. So you don't go. You stay right here and watch me every single day. When a parent knows that the role of a parent is to teach, the father's job when he sees the eyes of the baby is to teach how to pray, teach how to make decisions, explain to them right and wrong, give them the opportunity and then test them. Give them the opportunity for our conversation, give them a chance, hold back. Let them spoil the pot, let them throw too much pepper in the pot, let them learn. In many discourses, it is said that when, for example, a grandmother, let's just use our grandmother, with age, she knows a lot. That lady goes and tells the young head, don't worry to cook the roti, don't worry to cook the takari. For example, I go do it. You go and pick up your book. That grandmother is wrong. What you're doing is, you're robbing the person of the reality in life. You're going to have to do the homework. You're going to have to do the housework. You're going to have to study and cook and clean. tend to children, smile with your husband, play with your baby. Which child will understand, mommy had a hard day in work today, you know? That's why mommy is so exhausted and mommy didn't smile with me. You could do what you want outside. You have somehow to find the energy when you come home. So babe, what you doing in school today? Find a way to rest down all your bundle of burdens, all your stress. Leave it by the door and study now what this little head have in it. Mommy, Jade beat me up today. And you have to know who Jade is. You have to remember when it's this practice, what song, where the socks is, where the favorite shoes is. When you tell the person when they're young, don't worry about all that. I go do it. When will they do it? When they have to do it? When they're called upon and say, okay, make, act. Think about the wedding. You're going to make deals and promises. You make a promise. I promise I will do my part. Simple language, my part. But I have no experience. I have never cooked, cleaned, maintained a house and my job. So when I get into the business of marriage, I never see stressful in my life. Waking up 6 o'clock in the morning is the biggest thing for me. It have marriages when people start to see trouble. Where's the problem? Pundit, we come to talk to you. Where's the problem? Pundit, he vexed with me because I have to reach to work for 6 o'clock and I just want to get up 5 to 6. What's wrong with that, Pundit? My boss don't trouble me. Think about the person who has to work with this head, always hustling, bustling. Why don't you just iron your clothes before? Practice better time management. Do something to help yourself. You're always kind of agar-bagar kind of way. And the poor husband or the spouse, in my example, is trying to guide this person to manage your time a little better. Now, bear in mind, we live in a world where people have ADHD, and ADHD, one of the symbols of the person is they are always unaware of time. They cannot reach on time. They cannot finish a project on time. In the job, time becomes a problem. These people tend to have two watch on their hand. They tend to have watch in their home. Alexa is always announcing alarm, alarm, alarm. They need alarms because mentally they have a problem with time, managing time. Barring that, parents are being called upon reach the school on time. I understand that. But then parents don't think that's important. Let's make excuses. Let's train them. It's okay to reach 5 to 6. 6 the bell go ring, 5 to 6 is fine. When they go into the world of work and in their family life and they have that type of discipline, there is where the problems start. When you teach children, only focus on the book. Get the book. Get the book. When you get the book, you'll get the salary. You get the salary. And then what? In the home, the parent didn't make time to show, you know what? I make time for prayer as a family. We pray together. We sit together and we eat. Hindus have these tenets. Sanatana Dharma is the principles we live by. You don't make time to sit and eat. When the little boy grow up and he get the best salary, and he don't have time, I grow in with what I seen, you know. I learned to make parsa watching other people make parsa. I wouldn't know when to add the park if I never saw the texture. You could explain it for me over the phone, but I learned based on the example I see. Parents never made that time to sit down. I am going to do it now. My father never hold my hand off a tarpan so. But the big surprise, one day when daddy here get gray, I'm a bad child when I don't do what you didn't do. You never had time for your father. You was always at work. You were always busy. Dad, I'll come up the road. One day I'll come and check your door. But when I don't have time to check my father, I bad. Sandapani Rishi is being called upon, go and learn what mother and father cannot teach you. He knows a little more about prayers, go. Take the training and learn. Let him see objectively what time you're getting up, how you approach your life, how you manage your time. You have this to do, you have that to do, everything to do. It have nothing that I am subjective. I love you too much like Yashoda. Devaki over love, she got pet and spoil. That's the reality. I will give in. Every time you want to get away, your wordy device, I go give you. Don't worry, don't tell your father. And eventually you go spoil him. But Sandapani Rishi now is the guru. And it don't matter what. Guru is made to be strict. You have an objective. Get to your objective. Learn the mantra. Say your prayers. Be clean. Get up and bathe. In today's world, parents have trouble with cleanliness. Didn't we hear in Kali Yuga? Souch, cleanliness. The idea that I want to bathe and be prepared and be clean. People look for every bottle of perfume or deodorant or Febreze to bathe with, to overcome, to mask and to fool other people that I am clean. But to be clean is very difficult. When you see the behavior of people in that way, in that walk of life, you know which mode. When you hear about Sattvic, Tamasic, Rajasic, you know Tamasic. Cleanliness, you're so busy, I cannot bathe now. I am so busy, I cannot brush my teeth. Don't worry, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll rinse with Listerine today, Anna. Get through. Get through. Can I survive the moment? But do the right thing? I don't have time for that. The priorities of subjectivity has to be uprooted in these children's life. If I keep you, I know I am not going to be able to be objective, straightforward. I will not be able to hold the line strict. Go and stay by your guru and let that teacher imbibe within you the knowledge you need so that when you are called upon, you will be able to shine and not make a blunder. Let's hear what happens as they enter into Kashi, in the city of Avanti, where they are going by their Guru and Guru Mai. Jai Gananaya Shri Gananaya Ganapati Baba Moria. Jai Gananaya Shri Gananaya Ganapati Baba Sandapan Prajaye Yadam Kashyena Sandapani Nam Yenat Pura Avantika. Let's sing together, everybody. Today, Ganesh, ciao. Jai Gananaya Shri Gananaya Ganapati Baba Moria. Jai Gananaya Shri Gananaya Ganapati Baba Moria. Yato Pasadhya Ye Dantao Gurau Yahe Guru Ye Ati Nanditam Guru Ye Yatitya Perswaya Bhakta Ye Devati. Jai Gananaya Shri Gananaya Ganapati Baba Moria. 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 Shri Ganesh Bhagwan ki Jai. These little boys went with manners. Because of the hand of Yashoda, because of how strict. When you hear, there are many discourses we cannot touch, we're running out of time with this Bhagwat. But the katha where she takes the rope and she's tying him, where she's running down with the whip. There are many examples where Krishna is admonished or punished when he goes out of line. And in that record, please remember, in doing her duty, the mother is not sin. This is the Lord of the world, but beat him. It's fine. You're doing your job. In this case, Christian came, Balram came full of humility. Although they are so powerful, they just destroyed cunts. They had destroyed people like Potna come up the road to all of the demons, but they were not haughty. They were not proud and boastful. They did not have that. The Guru makes his decision to accept somebody or to say, maybe next time I will do prayer for you or accept you as a Shishya, as they were walking up and how their body language looked. Many people think that a Pandit have to christen a child. Just to clarify, Guru Diksha is a willful gift of energy from the teacher to the student. Vidya Guru, or the person who is teaching the music, the dance, the art of drawing, painting, etc., fabric design, etc., besides schoolwork, they are approached and they are somewhat coerced. I will pay you this if you teach my child that. Okay, no problem. Do not be disrespectful, they will get booted out of the class. And you have to accept that. But spiritual guru, you have to ask this person, would you please accept my child? Because there is a rule that the person accepts this individual and ties them to their karma. The guru is accountable, according to Prarabdha karma, for the outcome of this person. Hence, they take the time, the effort, their life energy, their hawan, all the energy that they garner from that fire and their personal job. Diksha means every time you lift your hand, you're shooting your energy that you have stored into this Shishya. I am charging the person, in other words, with the energy to survive, to go and shine. I am a tabla teacher, I am a Pandit, and I am teaching you the art of playing tabla or praying. Do it well. Make me proud. If the person is not comfortable, not because you're offering, let me be frank, not because you're offering plenty money, it means the person is going to accept you. If you have poor attitude or you are going to be the cause of this person's soul downfall, then you could clearly understand nobody wants that trouble. If your child is poorly taught, in today's world, you see in the school system, where parents are not teaching their children manners, the importance of discipline, dress code, proper eating habit, table manners, toilet manners, etc. And when they get to school from 8 to 4, they become the teacher's problem. You go there and learn about after using the toilet, flush the toilet. Make sure and wash your hand properly. You go in the school, thank God for COVID, they get some nice chart and they have to teach you how to wash your hand because that is not important in your house. But when it comes to spiritual education, a Pandit is within his right to say, sorry, I don't think I am capable to treat and train your child. Maybe it have a better Pandit, no argument. Of course, you don't want to hear this. Who wants to get rebuked? But the truth is, if you look at the character of the individual, to be objective, and if you're honest with the person, he could tell you why. Your child has an aversion to prayers. They don't want to follow Hinduism. They don't want to pray. If the child come and tell, Pandit, my mother forcing me to do this. I don't want to pray. I'm an atheist. I believe something else. I follow Scientology. I believe in other things. What you going to do? Tie your soul to that? To fool who? Remember, if you follow your Bhagwat Dharma, truthfulness is what will take you to God. So when you get the opportunity to get somebody who is capable and able to accept your children, appreciate what you get and foster a relationship with the person. Guruji says when you have a guru, you want to fight the effects of Kali Yuga, just like your mother, just like your father, based on our previous katha. Don't fall prey to Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga makes the person become so foolish that the same people that are being objective and honest, genuine with you, trying to lift you up, fix your clothes, boy, fix your book, go to school, make sure you're on time, your mother and your father talk. Lady, hush your mouth now. The same parent becomes bitter like Karaili in their mouth. I hate my mother and father. I go in and slit my wrists now because my mother and father just only talk. You just talk too much, lady. The same mother, the same person who telling you, listen, you're going down the wrong road, don't do this. You're drinking too much, you're driving too crazy. I hearing people saying you just drive too hard on the road. Lady, where you know? Poor pundit turn. This man go open his mouth and say fast. And it had KFC. Pundit, it have barbecue down the road. What are you doing? You interfering with the plan. Stop drinking, you're crazy. The pundit becomes the bitterest medicine. The priest, they don't last. So you'll end up in conflict now with everybody that is trying to save you from what? Yourself. When we was doing the Kaliya discourse with the demon and Krishna is stamping and beating and fighting, he uses people to help you help yourself. I am damaging myself. Somebody put the gun to your head for you to put certain things to your mouth. When somebody gets addicted to something, let's say I have to take 12 oxycodone tablet and then I go feel good. Oxycodone is a strong painkiller that people is overdose on. They just cause themselves some trouble. But they could get it from a doctor. Compared to cocaine and so, if somebody go watch it and they'll say, oh, he taking paracetamol. So it's a little more safe. It's hidden in plain sight. When you think about the little things, children in school today hiding punching inside the chubby. They're vaping. Who tell you to do that? When it happens, instead of the parent nowadays, instead of they take listen, your child doing X, Y, and Z. You have proof, you have video. Did you see that? Did you witness that? Long ago, I remember getting mayor's ring for everything. Your child, like your shoulder. When somebody bring the complaint, I will fix my child. Don't worry, miss. That's why, I don't know about all in my time, people ears, they get a little bigger. They get more ears full. Yashoda did well with these two boys that when they came to the house of the Guru, his heart became soft to see their mannerisms. Watching them walk up, watching them approach and bow, it showed the home they came from. The Guru, before he started to watch, he was evaluating. He tell them, go like the day, say a little prayers, let me hear you. And he made a decision based on what he was seeing. And he blessed them that he wanted to be the godfather of these children. Because when you shine, the Guru's soul also shine. When you shine, please be clear, the person who is training and trying and making you the better dancer and all this different walks of life, when you do well, when everybody's clapping for you, the Guru's soul, forget everything else, soul goes up. Guruji wants, he says, God, look what you sent for me in his prayer. Look what blessing you sent for me. For every teacher, when you get good children, dear Lord, look your blessing this year. Thank you for it. And in it, he becomes very attached to them. He enjoys their company. He allows them, and imagine, just for our understanding, you have one Sohari leaf. When you're doing the initiation and the Diksha is going to be given, after Guruji eat, you take a little bit, the godfather is supposed to take a little bit and feed the child. From my jutta, from my leaf, take a little bit. You just see it. Up to now, when you have bandara, and they just take out a little pinch of food from the plate and they just put it out from the leaf of the Guru. Please accept this. They take it out, they bless it, and now they want to share for you. But in tradition, they used to let the person eat first. So literally, the jutta. the mess, the little bit, with a lot of love and blessing. Please eat something. I guess for aesthetics reason, they take it out first and then they eat. Parikshit says, what was taught? If Krishna is the leader of this universe, if he is the true, permanent person, compared to the other devatas, when we was listening to the ending up of the Govardhan Katha, where Indra comes and he rests his head by Krishna, baby Krishna foot. Krishna reminds him, remember the difference between me and you. When the entire universe is absorbed back into my body as a ball of energy, no longer it has road, sky, sun, tall, short, rich, poor, is energy. Every soul, everything comes back to me. You also come back into me. I am there standing alone. There's no creation. There is nothing. I am permanent. So Parikshit says, I just heard you talk about the nature of Krishna in that discourse. So what do you teach this person? Please tell to me. He says that in this role, Krishna plays the part for the blessing of Sandapani Rishi. That he sits down in the class and humbly he listens to phonetics, chandas, vyakaran, the grammar, jyotish, he's learning about astrology, kalpa, the science of doing Vedic ritual, different type of havan, we spoke about some. Entomology, using the art of numbers and prayers to gain certain blessing. An example of the grammar. We all use, and you could remember this, we all use the word tarya. Agreed? What is a tarya? This is a tarya. Hand me the tarya, please. We've said that. What is a tali then? I don't know. Maybe flat, less wall on the side. Please remember this to show you how we have jibbed in our language. Tali is singular. This is a tali. When you have 10 tali, you have tariya, plural. So these type of things is what was being taught. Guruji then went on, after they mastered certain things, he then started to teach them military science, the arts of Dharam Shastra, what to do, what not to do, when to make certain types of decision, when faced with different type of treaties, when to make peace, when to declare war, when to do expedition, how to conduct themselves in the camp. Every scenario was laid out by the teacher so that when it would or could make an appearance in their life, they would have the experience of knowing what to do, making them stronger and stronger. These were the greatest of all the children Sandapani Rishi had at that time in his Gurukul. All these other teachers confirmed that these are advanced children. They are doing well. And for this reason, they moved through the science quickly. In total, they stayed 64 days. Sometimes people stay years in Gurukul, in different discourse. But in these two people case, 64 days passed, 2 months they leave Devaki and Vasudev, and they absorbed all the training that they came to get. And this is where it starts to get interesting. When you absorb and you take from somebody, you make sure and you pay them back or repay for teaching me something and my devotion, my knowledge is growing. I don't want to owe you. In RT, you put the dollar, Pundit, I don't want to owe you. Teach me something, I never hear that. Me, I want to owe you. My prayers going and go forward. Look at dollar Krishna Arpan. That's the logic there. When we were growing up and the neighbor sent 2 tomatoes, Ma used to send back a cucumber. When somebody do a kindness for you, could I give you at least a bottle of water? Could I give you some token of appreciation? Tanti, you're welcome. We had prayers. And you cook and you slave for we. You sweat for we. I don't want you sweat for me and me pay you for that. Son, me want no money. Okay, Tanti, look at sari. Look at towel. I buy this with you in mind. Please accept it. In doing that, I repay. What we was talking about earlier when current cut, When imagine your mother through the breast is giving you nourishment, melting her bone to make your bone strong. When that lady go, a son, the person who shaves the head the morning of the funeral, and the second one, he lifts the box to repay the mother for the milk that she gave. In everything, this dakshana that we talk about in Devi Bhagwat, it's Dakshana Devi, the full, how the goddess that sit, how she rewards you, that when you give, more you give, you just get. That could be food in dakshana. That does not necessarily mean money. It does not translate into money. It means that a gift is being given out of gratitude for what you teach me or what you do for me or what you give me. And he says, tell me, Guruji, what is your fee? My mother told me to ask, what, after completing my study, what could I give you? He says, I don't want anything. I have everything. He says, Guruji, give me some work then. This happened before. When Hanuman Baba had tried to eat the sun and they knocked him down and they cut the cleft lip here. Remember, Hanuman just means the person has a damage, a disfigured face. Doesn't mean anything else. Not only the lip. Sometimes the artists make it look like the lip, but it's the teeth break, the gum cut straight up into the middle of the roof so he could not talk properly. Hanuman does not, based on that disfiguration, he cannot speak properly. So you and me, when we were in school, we would have laughed at somebody who had this type of disfiguration. Oh, they talk funny. They look funny. But in reality, that is who you are worshipping, Hanuman. Hanuman Baba is ending up now in the care of Surya Narayana Swami. That's his guru. And after a short while, quickly, he becomes fully charged with the knowledge of Surya Dev. He says, Surya Dev, please tell me what Guru Dakshana could I give you? He says, listen. You're a little Vanar. I am the son of this, I am the center of this entire universe. There is no amount of gold or riches that you could give me that I don't already have. And he too said the same thing. Give me some seva, give me some job to do that. When I do it, that will be the dakshana, that will be the repayment for all that you have given to me. And it is this discourse that explains why we do Hanuman worship on Saturday. Shani's day, Shanivar in Hindi, Saturday, he's most powerful. This is why people don't get married on Saturday. There are certain prayers like bathing the girl when she makes a baby. We don't do it on Saturday. If the 6 days come or the 12 days come, you go before or after. Shani is not good for certain things. But he says, my son Shanishchar, he does not listen to me. He does not want to hear me. If you could go and bring my son for me, that will be the biggest seva. I will be so happy with you. I'll be pleased. If you could do that, I'll be grateful. Hanuman, fast forward, you go on, he reads. He says, dear brother, Shani, our father, you biological son, God's son, brothers, our father wants to see you. Shani says, me, I want to hear that man. I don't want to see that man. I am not going, and there's nothing you could do to stop me. Shani Dev uses a piece of iron, like a staff, like a walking stick. He has a little limb. Hanuman Baba gone and beat the man, bend the man, take the iron and wrap the man. If you ever do Hanuman worship, there's a chapter in Puran where you offer different type of light, diadem, with different oil, and what you just get blessing-wise. And some of it you're going to know mustard oil on a Saturday, and you put a little piece of metal. The piece of metal comes from that piece of iron to control Shani Devi. Wrap him like a screw, threaded line. Lift him up and throw him by the foot of Surya Narayana Swami. Tell him, look your son reach. He says, Hanuman, thank you. From today, the person who worship you on Shani's day, Shani Dev will not be able, by your blessing and power, will not be able to hamper or hinder them. He will have to pull back. He will have to let go. This is why Hanuman Day is when? Tuesday. But this is why you do his worship on Saturday morning. Krishna now, he says, give me some work and I will gladly do it. Guruji says, let me talk to your godmother and I'll get back to you in a little bit. Let's hear what happens when he came back to talk to him. जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम,
जय
भोले बाबा तब शरणम, जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम,
जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम,
जय सांब सदा शिव
तब शरणम, जय सांब सदा शिव तब शरणम,
सामंत्र दक्षिणायेतम, संदपाणि गुरु भ्रातायेतम, सूरास्त्र प्रभास्येतम, येनामृत फल ये यातौ, जय भोले बाबा तब शरणम,
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 जय सांब सदा शिव तब शरणम,
जय सांब सदा शिव तब शरणम,
जय सांब सदा शिव तब शरणम। Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. Remember, we call Krishna Kripa Raj, the one who has mercy. And we have been talking a lot about the woman's body and her journey, her suffering. We mentioned that there is a rite, it's called a tutka. Something that is done to counter, to work around the karma. For example, you will hear people say, you're Mangalik, Kal Sarap Dosh, you weren't supposed to have a boy child. But you pray hard and you get the boy. But if you keep that boy child, death, sickness, genetic disorder is right there. You're not supposed to have it. Just as it come, it could go. Simple language. So older people, pundits will tell you, you have to sell that child. Selling children, nothing illicit, but more of a karmic thing. It happens between the mother and let's say a senior lady whose belly is very healthy and she's capable, God bless she, to make more than one children. Happy children, healthy children, no genetic disorder, no stillbirth. It's not just any lady. And she hands over in that ritual, hands over the baby and gives a gift of 25 cents for the baby, and then in 5 minutes hand back the child. But the logic is, in this little act, I am not linked. My karma, which is not good, is not linked to the trajectory of this child. Don't let my patra cause or shorten the lifespan of this child. In the same way, we talked about when somebody drunk, how the lady goes. It is quite common that when a ship sink or a plane crash, sometimes you don't get back one person. Hindu people undergo these type of tragedies just as any other race or any other religion, but Hinduism believes that the woman's body, there is this link between her children and her breast. For example, imagine speak to any lady, the first time she leaves her children, newborn, home, and at that distance the child may be crying home and milk starts to run. It's your body. Tell me, where did you hit the switch to say make milk now? It's a very strange thing. And this, you see this bond being expressed on the wedding morning when the boy go in and the mother holds the head. This time, this bond have to break. This time where I was your connected person. This time I grow you and I make you, now here's man. Begin your family and start to live your life. That's the message the mother is saying there. When, God forbid, somebody's child drowns, God forbid, the lady goes to the sea and she sprinkles the water. But the part that we don't talk about is what prayers is being said, this top secret thing. What prayers this lady dripping salt water on her chest and begging. It is now assumed that the person has died, first and foremost. It is accepted that they try, and they can't recover the person, unfortunately. The mother says, at least give me back the body so that I could conduct the rites for my child, so that his or her soul could find peace. That's the logic. Whether married or not, whether regardless the age, this is something the mother does. Wife or partner cannot do this. It wouldn't give you the same outcome. So special is the bond. The Guru Mai comes into the room to speak with Krishna and Balaram first, and she says, I'm so happy that you are my godchildren. I'm very grateful, and I know you've asked for Guru Dakshina, but we really have everything. But looking at your superhuman intelligence, we cannot help but identify your divinity. For this reason, understand that years ago, your Guru had one son, and he went to frolic in the ocean located in Prabhas. Today we call that Saurashtra. And whilst playing, something happened. We don't know, we weren't there. But the little boy drowns. This one child was full of hope for us. This is all he wanted. Your Guru only thought of what I will teach him. When will he be ready to take over the ashram? When will he be ready to do this, that, and the other? And he would make all preparations in his mind for what is to come. And when that message came, it broke your Guru. If you want to pay him back, bring back that son. You are powerful and you are capable. I don't know how you'll do it, but bring back his son for him. Let's hear what happens. Krishna did not jib, bows to his godmother, gives Balaram a look, and he says, let's go. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari
Bol. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol.
Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha
Ramana Hari Bol.
Guru Putra Yaham Sandapani Yati Sutal Bali Yaham Maharajayati Veda Kripa Raja Yenayatham Guru Putra Yaham Datta Swarga Lokyatham.
Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol. Jai Jai Radha Ramana Hari Bol.
There is somebody, O Parikshit, from our previous discourse. The person who gave Vaman the 3 footsteps, Bali. He is living in Sutal, one of the lower regions. And he's waiting when Lord Vishnu came in the dwarf form. He's waiting, Lord Vishnu came Parsuram, Lord Vishnu came as Ram. Now Krishna, after Buddha, he's waiting, Krishna comes. And now Krishna decides, in this young boy form, to quickly go to Sutal. And he's going now to look for this person. And when they reach there, he says, oh friend, Lord Krishna talking to Bali, oh friend, may you please help us. We came here at the wish and desire of our preceptor. Please help us find his soul. Arrange for him to come with us. You could imagine somebody telling you, I want this, I want that, I want the other. But I waited for so long just to see your face. That Krishna is talking, but Bali is not taking him on. He is just so happy to see the Lord reach in front of him. That in that moment, by seeing the Lord, he gets mukti. That now he could leave Sutal and arrange to go to Swarga. He could go to the place where Lord Vishnu is lying on Sheshnag. He is happy for himself Dear Lord, by doing your bidding, by being your emissary, by being your dude, I get freedom. Of course, I will do your bidding. I will go and find that child. And he goes quickly. And in the inners of Sutal, he finds this little boy's soul. Brings him by Krishna. Let's hear what happens. Parikshit wants to know, where did Bali go? Samanandaya prajasvarga drishyaayatam Rama jagadamya he vishwa brahmanyate nashkalyayati vishwayayatam rajadaryayate rathaye ayatam.
जय राधा रमन हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमन हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमन हरि बोल, जय जय राधा रमन हरि बोल.
Oh Parikshit, when a person becomes the worker, becomes the dude, the dasi, one form of devotion. We've been talking a lot about Shravanam and Darshanam, using your organs to get upliftment just by listening, just by watching. When you stand for Arati, while you're standing up, I want to see the moment when the flame pass around the Murti. I want to witness the offering. I want to witness the Ganesh Murti coming, the book on the head. I want to see it. So I'm standing up, I'm walking with them. In that moment, by watching, I'm getting blessing. He says, but there's another way. When I become the dasi or the servant of the God, there I serve him. And by being a servant, some people think, how are you going to be a servant? Who wants to be a servant? But when you understand, when somebody says Tulsi Das, Krishna Das, Rama Das from Anand Ramayana, I become a Das of Tulsi, I become a Das, I'm the servant, I'm the sevak. I take care of what? Their feet. I worship just the foot of God. If it's the murti, if it's the flowers, I see Guruji walking in the airport, I'm going to drop my heavy head. I have no pride. I am a Das for this person that made me who I am. I am a Das to my mother. I will take care of my father. I will make sure till the day he dies, he will be comfortable. I will not be one of those people that will be drowsy and angry with their parents if they want to sit down and watch a little Indian movie with their own child. Sometimes a little patience, sometimes a little time management. To make time for your own parents. The same teacher who made you who he is. Now you cannot be a servant to them. You want to be Lord and be overlord to these people. The people who teach you and put you where you are, they say, Christian says you work for the womb you come from. That lady who became your mother wasn't just so. You accepted this womb and you came into the womb by your karma. When you're born, chapter 1 Bhagwat Gita says, how do you know you're in Kali Yuga? When the women in the society, in the home stop doing their job, when they stop teaching and preaching and cutting people's tail and admonishing them when they're wrong, then you're going to fall. Because now you're so foolish, you don't know you're making a mistake until you start to burn. When you start to burn and you get in trouble, you get jail, you get locked up, you get bad name, everybody beats your character. Oh God, mommy. Oh God, ma. You see what they say? You hear what they're talking about me? Why? Because society, when you do so much, they say you do so much. But your mother is the one saying, hey, you fool, don't let me do so much. They will talk to you and say so much about you. The person trying to save you, that is the only thing keeping you from entering into the dark time of your life. You work so hard for she, and for this man, everybody says, look, hey, you remind me of your father. Just like how that man is to eat what you eat in bird pepper, the same way, wow. When somebody says you repay your mother for the bone and the milk, you just pay back your father for your personality, your likes, your dislikes. You are imprint of somebody. When we were talking about the discourse, why Ganesh Baba is so rosy, why he's so fluffy, why the belly is so big, Krishna in Bhagwat Puran is coming as Ganesh. And Parvati Mata says, if I have to feed you, if I have to imbibe within your love, and that love make you big, well then be big. Krishna took that, and when he comes as her child in that discourse, in that time, in that cult, he does come big. In that part, Lord Shiva says the mother is important, no argument, but the father is equally important. Without the father's genetics, without the father's principle, without the father's training, what would you be? When you do not have your father's hand, there are certain things that only a man could teach a child. In an age when only women become important, there, according to Hindu texts in Kali Yuga, you're going to have gender crisis, you're going to have sexuality problems, and your same children that you taught, they're going to be one way. What we would say is, what I expect, you're going to have a diversion or a different path, and it leaves parents, where did this problem come? I never saw it, I never expected it, where did it come? One of the explanations, it isn't the only explanation, but one explanation is when you have derelict parents. The environment around children leads them to crime, criminality, wrong type of friend, sometimes looking for attention. It is not the only cause. Hormonally, people can be born different too. God does make people different. But if God makes you the parent, then you have to do what you have to do. There's no excuse for it. Oh, Parikshit, when Krishna reached and he was ready to accept this child, nobody questioned him. No, just as in the Ajamil discourse, when the Yamdut wanted to block the movement of the soul, the Yamdut learned, don't question him. That's Lord Vishnu in different packaging, different avatar. Don't bother him. He wants our soul. Let him take the soul. And now he could extract somebody. For the first time you're hearing this, extract somebody out of Narak without going through the cycle of birth and death, birth and death. This little boy in the previous form that he had is able to return to Guruji. Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. Gaksha Braja Somya Putro Pratimaham Gopinath Dvij Yogadi Mrityoye Yatam Mangalam Yena Dikshayati go back, they left us 2, but they came back with 3. The Guru sees his boy as if he was standing in front of him yesterday, did not age one day. And Krishna, a young boy himself, holding this little baby boy by his hand. Let's go the child to the Guru. Tears, Parikshit, tears are not enough for this father. All the lustrous Guru, all the chandan, all the kanhawar, everything falls at the sight of his son. He's sobbing, he's bawling at the mercy of the Lord, that what is impossible could become possible. In previous discourse, Lord Vishnu says, what is too much for me to give for the person who is my devotee? The devotee of Krishna is the person who will shortcut the cell, because you will think God cannot fix this problem. But in many episodes, he shows that where you think there's no solution, there's no resolution, it cannot happen, that prayer is too difficult, that is impossible, he makes it possible time and time again. Krishna and Balram rest their head at the feet of Sandapani Rishi, and they head back to their home. And time passed, to be honest, a lot of time they start to grow in the house of Vasudeva and Devaki. they become and they fight many battles as prince. They become kings in their own. They build Dwarka. And Vasudeva, as he's becoming old, as he's becoming aged, he turns to prayer more and more, more and more. He is doing puja, and he's always celebrating. And one day, he had a big yagna, and he called his son, and he says, "O kings, Balaram, Krishna, pass home." Let's hear what happens when they come to their father's prayer. Narayanaya Krishnaya
Paramatmaya Namo Namah. Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah. Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah.
Munina Vachashru Putra Yoga Putra Dharmaye Kampalta Janardana He Madhusudanaya Vishwadeva Vasudeva.
Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah. Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah. Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah.
Vasudeva had been listening. He's following what his sons are doing at a distance. They became princes, they became king, they built Dwarka, they're fighting good and bad in different ways. But now they get to come home. No matter the age, they'll always be his boys. And he wants to feed them. I don't want to eat with you, I want to take out your food. I want to serve you. I want to see you mess your hand in my house. Remember we talk about why you eat with your hand? The mudra, well, Lakshmi Mata, this is to call Lakshmi. When you go in the wedding and you see the people chumain, Lakshmi Mata, bless the boy, bless the girl, allow them no negativity. But when you sit down with the food, we have one spoon on it. Why don't you spoon? Because this Lakshmi Mata bless every mouthful. This child is eating, bless the throat, stomach, intestine, don't let nothing go wrong. Somebody might say, why do you eat with your hand? Young children today, a long time saying that they have no value. But if you follow Sanatan Dharma is not only puja, it's how you dress, how you eat, how you respect elders. Not only appearance, good morning auntie, good evening auntie, how you respect other people's religion. Not because that is not yours, it means you degrade and cry it down. If God is everything, why God cannot be everything? Who are you to limit God? God, you could only fit between this place and this place. You could only look like me. You could only act or eat or do like me. Then you're going wrong. Because I'm saying God is everything, but it's only everything where I see. Vasudeva, he sings for them. He said, I heard you went here. I heard you went there. I heard you fought this. I heard you conquered this one. I'm so proud of you, Krishna. Balaram, you are truly the storehouse of strength. And he's taking out food. You want more, and he's serving them. Now this big king, now this older person, now this father has come, the servant. Parikshit, what is appearance but a servant? Ganesh Baba had a problem with that. When you go to prayers and put it, suddenly put in the tulsi leaf in the Ganesh Panchamrit or his Parsad. Tulsi Devi, before she was a plant, when she was a young girl, she wants to get married, and she was praying. Bhagwat Puran, Ganapati Khan, chapter 5. Ganesh Baba is praying to Lord Krishna on the bank of the Ganga, and she interpreted that God sent this person for me to marry. So in a lusty way, pulling the ears and choking the belly, wake up. I is the princess at this area. Organize yourself. We're going and get married. So he said, married? I sit down here calm, saying my prayers. I with my God. married, if I'm married, I gotta take my time and I gotta take care of the spouse. I gotta give my life, give my energy for that person. And then the real sin, hear the word, sin go come, children go come. And all my energy, all my money, everything I have, the little sense I have, the little peace I have, the little sleep I have, everything will go for them. Why are you going and do that for? Listen, you go and find somebody who looking for that kind of life. Don't bother me with that. But the problem is Tulsi grew up with her mother praying. And always praying for what? God bless my marriage, dear God bless my husband. That is how her mother used to pray. So she had this example. Imagine you light a lot of dias for prayers. Imagine somebody walk the road and say, you see, that way you're doing it, that is stupidness. How you get defensive, you feel hurt. Tulsi starts to get angry. And she says, you see, that for attacking my way of prayer, I'm going to put a strap on you, you know. You see, you who afraid marriage, you afraid lady, you afraid what one lady gonna do in your life? I put strap on you, you're gonna marry two. And he married two. Read here and sit here. When you go for your Ganesh house, you will see two ladies on the side of the man. She said further, you afraid marriage, the institution of marriage? You from today gonna become the deuta for all them weddings. Go in the wedding and they see the card when the neuta come and they see a Ganesh on the card. When they blessing the yellow rice, when them now long time, when they put it now, putting it in the card now, different thing, but they're giving you the rice. Come and throw the rice on my child. They're getting married. Bless them with your goodness. Ganesh mantra sit there. When they bless the wedding ring, Ganesh Baba sit there. When they bless the Mangal Sutra, Ganesh Baba sit there. When they bless the Sindura, Ganesh Baba sit down there. He says, okay, I take it. I'll become the appointed deuta in all them weddings, no problem. He says, but I am going to give you a strap now. You see, when you spread your hand so just now and you say, watch me, I'm very sexy, I'm very good looking, you should want to marry me. What is wrong with you? When you want that allure, when you want that attention, when you're using your body where God give you, and you lose your modesty, in your next life, you are going to be born, you're going to reap what you sow. In your next life, be born as a tree. Spread your hands just like what you do. And all your fruits that were supposed to be private and hidden, you want to display them now. So God takes the soul from the human and he says, be born as a nice dodos tree. That is why she's a plant. That is why you don't have a Tulsi Murti. Ganesh Baba is the person that says, children, make you a servant. And in your life, the right thinking person, when the children reach that age and they start to fend for themselves, let them go. The parent who wants to hold on, if you are a mother here tonight, fighting with your son, don't mind you're married, come and eat my roti. Eat she want to, and you get that boy the belly like I have, you're killing your child in different ways. Don't do it. After a while, and you enter into that third ashram, let go of your children. Let you eat the bun roti, let you eat the uncooked roti until one day she will learn. They will find their way and you find your way. And you learn, give people a chance, give big people a chance. Know your focus. Where's your focus? When you cross 50, your focus, if you have grandchildren, that is your focus. With all the love and sweet words, with the patience you have. Focus on the next generation. These people busy working and paying mortgage. Them don't have time to do, babe, hold the lotus so. And remember, get up and say a prayer. Remember, we bathe in this house before we offer our dowry. Come on, this is our traditions. This is what we do. That is your focus. And then one day, let that go too. They have their life. Let it go. They will live. Your focus then becomes yourself. Vasudeva is talking about this, and he's telling Krishna all that he had learned in this life. And now he is ready. Now that his children are grown, he is focusing. I'm spending my time in doing charity, feeding the hungry. I am using the remaining years that I have to present myself to God. But when I see you boys making me proud, I can't help but hold on to the myopic with the little microscopic pride that I have. that I share in your joy. I share when you win, I win. And I still celebrate you. Today, as you come to me, please accept my gifts, accept my blessing. Christian says, you are so blessed. In your previous births, you are up here, and today we still come to eat from your hand. Rest assured that we are here. Yovanana hasutayate saksha pradhanaye purushcha bhauma bhauma nakshatra yena tatvar yena ye atam.
Narayanaaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah. Narayanaaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah. Narayanaaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah.
He says, you all have shown me your true colors time and time again. I must tell you, thank you for that. When you took form in that four-handed big form, the night Janamashmi, I remember clearly who you are. And then you shrank and you became the little baby I had to tote. I get to tote you on that basket, and I remember Sheshnag hanging over my head. I remember this huge snake. The Yamuna River is climbing. I remember what I saw. Watching you grow, I get liberation. I remember when, because now Christian is an adult, I remember when I had to do the Navratri breath. When you're fasting the 9 days and you're doing in Devi Bhagwat, the Mahatyam, who does Devi Puja? Vasudev did it. One time Krishna went in the forest and he was taking long to come back. That's when he fight Jamant in the 10 days war. And Vasudev uses Durga and prayer to get back his son. He says, all I want back my boy. And as he broke the coconut, as they lifted, they closed off the prayer, Krishna walked through the door. He says, I remember these miracles and I remember these things. There is nothing I could pray for, but I am making the time. I am using the time that I have to garner more and more blessing. Christian says, blessed is a person that has a father like you. That I salute you for your humility and your sweet words, Dad. But know that for your good works and your good example, may more people have fathers like you. Devki is listening to all this mama guy from one to the other, father to son, and she's fiddling with her fingers, patiently waiting for her turn. Christian, knowing that something is wrong, he goes to look for her right there. Ma, bow to her feet, but now the foot pulled back. Don't touch this sinful person's foot. Go and touch and honor the God that your father is. Don't make time for me. Listen to the trouble this son finds himself in. Ata tatra kurushesha devaki sarva devatam guru ye putra sandapani rishikul ye nat krishna ramo ye dam.
Narayanaaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah. Narayanaaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah. Narayanaaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah.
Ma, what trouble is this? Why are you talking so far? And I come to look for you. She says, you're coming to look for me now? I heard you're freeing, you're fixing, you're helping everybody. But you ain't had time for me. Don't come to look for me now. Don't come to get my blessing. You're touching my foot to take the energy, the little life I have here. I feel you take enough from me already. I's the last one for you to come and look. Mawadu, I hear when your godfather asks you to bring back the dead, you could bring back dead. I hear you went and helped this one. I hear you blessed that one. Now I'm sitting here, I could see how much love you have for Vasudev, how much you're giving him, how much accolade, how much hug, how much care. You only come because he called you. But when I was suffering here, grieving to see you, I did not see you when you're born. I did not see you when you was growing in boyhood. I did not get to see you in manhood. I was not present when you're married. I was not ever around in these critical moments. Now you're coming to Mama Guy and to entreat me with sweet words? What kind of sinful person is born to become a mother? Let me go for that. What kind of sin I have to do to be born? Know myself. I like fry aloo. I like sada roti. When I married this man, I had to learn to cook the soup. He like plenty pepper in the food. Give up your ways now. I had to shanty that. When the child born, make it to suit them. Put butter and put cheese and put everything to suit them. Me, I don't get to eat for me again. I don't get to dress for me again. I cannot do anything. I have to dress to please the husband. I have to do time management to treat with these children when they come home. Baba can't really come in the Bhagwat, they have homework, they have project. We don't know if the teachers, I don't know if I have any primary school teacher here. I don't know if the teacher them is be giving it to the children to do the homework or they're testing the parents. But oh God, Baba, oh God, I don't have time again. I lock up, I trap. What kind of sinner am I? What sin does a woman make to become this thing called mother? And she started to cry. The child in Christian says, Ma, what could I do? What could I give? What? Tell me now. And with the speed of light, I will grant this. Don't let me see her cry, Mommy. Don't do this. Tell me what I could do. I am Putra. I am the son that when I make choices in my life, my soul will uplift your soul, whether you are alive or you are no longer alive. Give me the work to do and tell me what you want and I'll do it to make you happy. Tears running and they cannot stand to see this lady Suske and how she's breaking down. They're begging she to talk. And when she opens her heart, from heart to mouth, she says, I never got to use this chest, this breast, never get to feed not one of my children. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 murder. 7 jump up in the sky and left the girl. 8, they take you and they transplant you to somebody else who get to nourish you, feed you, but I never get milk to feed none. What God put me in this frame for? If they call you God, where you put me here for? Give me back my children where you kill. Where you allow when you is God and you allow it to happen. Give me back my 6 children. Let me feed them once. Just once. After that you could take them back. You could put them in heaven. You could do what you want. But let me feed my dead children just once. Without a second thought. No smile. No mama guy. No. Krishna and Balaram head to pata. Tatapada kuru ye atam kam yuva yogeshwarayate borach yena putra yetam drishti yena tarvaraye.
Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah.
Narayanaya Krishnaya
Paramatmaya Namo Namah. Narayanaya Krishnaya Paramatmaya Namo Namah.
They go and they instruct the Yamdut, bring those 6 brothers of mine now. Bring them back. Smara, Urjita, Parasvanga, Patanga, Shudbrit, Brihni. Give me those brothers now. I need to take them to my mother. Parikshit says, but how? If you are so blessed that you are born in the same place, in the same womb with God, the Almighty Father, how is it that they are murdered? Merciless. The Lord of mercy is right there. but you don't get any mercy. Why did that happen? Parikshit, you are not understanding that karma is the hand that guides everything. These boys have a history. They were the sons of marriage in a different age. They were illustrious. They were highly placed in heaven. They were very potent with prayer, knowledgeable people. And one day when they entered into Brahmlok, Brahma was sharing a personal joke with Saraswati Mata. And when they saw the father of this entire creation making jokes and laughing like a mere mortal with this female, they looked at it as if this was something degrading, a misdemeanor, something that should not have happened to this person who is above everybody else. And what did they do? They didn't say anything. They did not think of disrespecting Brahma by saying something, but they laughed within each other, casual eyes, a little smile, and Brahma knew what they was thinking, and he says, you are going to be born in the womb, and you will have to go through punishment, pain of the suffering inside the belly. And the guru of these boys says, don't worry, go and born, suffer in the womb, born into the world, and as you're born, you'll come back. After passing through that place, you will go to Patal, remain there suffering. But when you get the milk of your mother, that first milk is where the blessing resides. When you get that linkage to the mother, you will be free and return to your divinity in heaven. So said, so done. There is sometimes pictures that you see in Bhagwat, a lady is sitting like how I am, and she has babies all over her in the artist's depiction of this discourse. From her body, by the grace of Krishna, milk started to flow, and she fed each one of these 6. In front of her, the little baby transformed into divine lookalikes of Lord Vishnu, and they all bowed to her mother because of your milk, because of your sacrifice, because of your time holding us in your belly, your back pain, your body pain. Today we have fulfilled the shrap, and we return with your permission to the heavenly regions. Devaki felt satisfied. Remember we talked about that when Vaman was saying, if you give me 3 foot of land, I will be happy, I'll be satisfied. And Bali says, that 3 foot of land, what could that do? You can't build anything on that. When you get older, you will think, oh shucks, I should have asked for more land. He says, ask for more land now. Vaman says, no. If I don't have contentment now, 3, I will want 4. I will want 5. You could give me an entire island and I will never be satiated. I will never be satisfied. I will always want more, more, more. I will be hungry. I will be jealous. I will be envious of what the neighbor, whatever they have. I want that. I want better than that. And I will keep going like that. And in my prayer, I will be so hungry. God, give me, give me, give me, give me. I want more. I want more. I want more. There are many examples of people who use prayer to only get. Sometimes what they get is their own destruction because they go around the wrong thing. Imagine, Ravan was a very devout guy to Lord Shiva. But he does have a rule. If you touch Sita's hair, if you touch that girl, that will be the end of you and your entire family. And he still did it. He was blinded. If a person does not have that contentment, how will you find happiness? If our Bhagwat is giving you the Dharma, the principles to look for, then part of your search in your prayer, part of your prayer must be, dear God, help me to conquer the snakes that live inside of my mind, the greed, the jealousy, and the envy. When I see somebody win, bless my mouth to say, good job, you keep doing. And not envy. I wish my child to get that. I wish my child had a better car, a better spouse, a better house, a better job. What school your son passed for? Oh, just a junior sec. Oh. Take out that from me. When you win, I win. Help me to give a compliment, a kind word, a supportive word. Strangers could do it. Stranger ain't no way you have in your cupboard. And when they say good job, you really do good. It's objective. I mean you well. But sometimes we own family. Gerbrand tell you, when you have relatives like snakes, and they only want to bite and get, then know that you are a sinful person. You're surrounded by them. But when you are surrounded by people who are uplifting, they support and they lift you, don't worry, I'll pray for your child to pass. When that type of content could come from family, then you are blessed. In this life, you will see blessing. But unfortunately, sometimes the family, they will just say in the marriage, the boy holding on, I'm a sister, I'm a brother, I'm a poor, I'm a this. But the people that you're surrounding yourself with biting you harder than strangers. Strangers they will lift you up. They will wish you well. But just as Kalia is poisoning the environment where Krishna is living, the people we hold on and hook on, and I have to talk to them. How me I go invite them for prayers? But they come in your prayers to watch what ways you have. Die where she go in, die where they go put, die where they go cook. That is how it come out. She can't cook Shana, yes, see. And they drag you down in different ways. Then you are choosing to live around snakes. Take what you get after. This life is about choices. And sometimes you have to make tough choices in order to see advancement. You do have to sit down and practice tabla if you want to play. You do have to practice Hawan if you want to say the prayers. It does take work. It does take sacrifice. But if you don't have that discipline, if you don't instill that discipline in your children, they will fail in this life. They will fall. And when they fall, oh God, Baba, you see, they do obia for my child. You see how the marriage done? That person come and throw funeral dot in that wedding and show. And foolish people do not realize I am the maker of my destiny. I could take my God and with faith fix my life. And stop blaming other people for the mistakes and the missteps in your life if you would just listen to what Krishna really telling you. If you heed that warning, your life could become a blessing and not a damning situation. Let's join as we do our final verse tonight. Tena mata krita punyak devaki matar kalyate prashita karma palyatam devaki kanya yati Bihari Lal ki Jai. Devaki cried when the children came, Devaki cried when the children left, and she cried when she held on to the hair of Krishna. When he bowed and she was playing with the hair, only your son or your daughter could fill that void. Yes, we love everybody, but God bless when children repay the debts to parent. When they give back, it could be a little piece of roti, it could be a little effort, it could be a little patience, it could be a little love. When mommy start to forget, when daddy forget where he put the keys, when they start to wear diapers and you have a little patience with them, trust me, nobody could fill that void. Nobody. It don't matter what mistake you make in your life. It don't matter what you did, what you said, what error you made in choosing a spouse, whatever you did in that moment, you fill that void because that was where you were supposed to be and that's the job you were supposed to do. Do your duty, O Arjun, and in doing your duty, you'll find mukti, you'll get liberation. Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai. This, just like it have a few discourses, and I wanted to read the different one, the odd one, the one you don't get to hear. And there are some gaps in our knowledge of Krishna that without it, you really don't see the whole picture. So yes, there are some things that I am discussing and have been discussing that you did not catch, such as when we were talking about the arrow in the foot of Krishna. That is going to happen tomorrow. How does Krishna Leela end? How does Krishna leave this earth? And why does it happen that way? If God bless you, you could be with me, wonderful. If you're viewing, God bless you. We only have 3 more sessions. And I can't fit the Bhagwat in these 3 sessions. There's so many discourses. How he ended up saving the 16,000 girls. People from other religion condemn our God. And if you don't know where that came from, how he ended up with that, if you don't understand who was Narakasur, you would, okay, well, if he did that, he's wrong. If you don't know the truth, you'll get misled. So moments like this spent in your prayer where you are studying your text. In everything we did here tonight, we did not take the time to talk about gossip, and we did not discuss my opinion as the person narrating. What we have discussed is what is in the text. And it is dependent now on the person who is listening, whether male, female, your age, whatever your understanding of God is, your karma, to interpret the story that you have heard to your memory, to your life, and how you practice what you hear today. A child might say, Babs, I never heard that story before, but I hear it tonight. A mother would interpret it in one way. A person who is divorced may interpret it a different way, different perspective, but get it right. If you take what Christian is offering and it applies to your life in whichever way that is left to you and your God to discuss, and you make the change, then the prayers work. That is Bhagwat Dharma. How are we going to take the principle contained in the book and better remind the person to better their life in a very nice, very edible story? Not boring, not hard to understand, not poetic language, but in a way I could understand good is good and bad is bad, good beat bad, okay, I could do that. I'll use prayer and good could beat bad. Ram over Ravan, Krishna over Kans, you name it. This is what Ved Vyas did when he wrote this book. It is not just information, it is punctuated with emotion, with feelings. And if you do your Bhagavad correct, just by listening, tears, emotion is supposed to come from you, because something is waking up inside of you. You know what? I want to be better. I think I want to say good morning, good evening, good night. I want to teach my children to say good morning, good evening, good night. I want to establish that in my house. Husband, you see this? Let me change from today. If you do that, it work. That is what we're playing for, truthfully. This is not to inflate anybody's ego. We read a jag, we had a jag. If nobody had changed in where's the sense you have jag? If nobody has seen betterment in their life, what we're doing here is just wasting our time or just consuming food. That is it. We're singing and sweating to play tabla and organ for no purpose. But if you come and you hear godly things and you apply it in your way, where you see it fit in your life, no pundit, nobody had to know your business, but your God. And this is where you sit down and you pray. This is what we're doing tomorrow. Tomorrow we have 3 sessions of Bhagwat. And we are closing the Bhagwat. Sunday morning, puja will start at 6, finish by 8, katha from 8, and we close by 10:30, if God willing. We are doing with Gita because we have to break those things that are on the Bedi. We have to break the Vrat. We have people who have been fasting. Dear God, with all seriousness, I am asking your permission to stop being in the Bhagwat. With your permission, if tomorrow I break my fast, truthfully, don't let nothing bad happen. So the Gita is an opportunity to close off. If while I was doing my prayer, my mind stray, my mouth stray, my hand stray, I did something wrong, forgive me. So you will see them chant the Gita Mahatyam. So you get the blessing of the 18 chapters in that prayer. And this is now where the highlight of that is when the final Havan is done, you're going to get the basma or the ashes from all the jap Pandit Varun has been doing for that Chausat and the different forms. That basma has to go on your body. Traditionally, people put it as a tikka. Look at Swami Dattatreya. You will see he has a black tilak. He's using Havan smoke, and you and I could do the same. When you go by Sai Baba and you get the basma, the vibhuti. Vibhuti comes from the Havan ashes. The mantras that are being burnt is going to rub on your skin, wear, drink for internal healing in different ways. The same thing that these great gurus are doing, you could do it too. It's just prayers. That's all. That's the secret. Vindravan di Harilala ki jai. Everybody, let's all stand. Sorry for going over the 9. Let's all stand as we do arati. Put your hands together. Ladies, cover your hair. Close your eyes. And take a second. If we don't make this prayer very personal, it is not going to apply. Dear God, after listening to this discourse, I never heard it before. I have heard it. I'm enjoying the fact that I get to hear it again. Please accept my prayer. If I made any mistakes, dear God, in my time, in my way, in the different rules that I have, please forgive me. You are Kripa Raj. You are the God of mercy and forgiveness. Please find a way. Please show me a way to get that salvation, that forgiveness when my mouth put me in trouble, the way I just think put me in trouble, the way I do things put me in trouble. I'm coming to you humbly for help. Help me to improve. Nobody is perfect. Everybody pundit, everybody does make mistakes. But in the eyes of God, we are children. And if we approach for the right way, with the right language, with a little humility, God, I believe you would accept even a sinner like myself. Sajam cha varti sanyuktam grahina yojitam mayam deepam grahana devesham trailokya timirapaham.
जय जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती, पापियों को पाप से है तारती। जय जय भागवत भगवान की है आरती, पापियों को पाप से है तारती। अमर ग्रंथ ये मोक्ति बंध ये गोविंद गोविंद भजु राधे गोविंद गोपाल गोपाल भजु कृष्ण मुकुंद गोविंद गोविंद भजु राधे गोविंद गोपाल गोपाल भजु कृष्ण मुकुंद हरि ओम 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 तत् हरि ओम तत् हरि ओम तत् हरि ओम हरि ओम तत् हरि ओम तत् हरि ओम तत् हरि ओम कृष्ण 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 जय राधा कृष्ण 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 जय राधा कृष्ण हरि ओम तत् हरि ओम तत् हरि ओम तत् हरि ओम हरि ओम तत् हरि ओम तत् हरि ओम तत् हरि ओम गोविंद गोविंद भजु राधे गोविंद गोपाल गोपाल भजु कृष्ण मुकुंद गोविंद गोविंद भजु राधे गोविंद गोपाल गोपाल भजु कृष्ण मुकुंद ओम हरि 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 ओम तत् हरि ओम तत् हरि ओम तत् हरि ओम हरि ओम तत् हरि ओम तत् हरि ओम तत् हरि ओम हरि ओम तत् हरि ओम तत् हरि ओम तत् हरि ओम हरि ओम तत् हरि ओम तत् हरि ओम तत् हरि ओम 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 हरि ओम
Dear Lord, thank you for the opportunity. Bless us to do it again. Tvameva Mata. Everybody.
Shabita Tvameva
Tvameva Bandhuscha.
Saka Tvameva
Tvameva Vidya.
Dravinam Tvameva
Tvameva. Come on.
Mama Deva Deva
Tvameva Sarvam.
Mama Deva Deva
Together. Om Shanti.
Shanti Shanti Hari Om
प्रेम से बोलो महापति महादेव की जय, पवन पुत्र हनुमान की जय, श्री आदि शक्ति माता की जय, वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय, सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय। जय जय सीताराम everybody. Sitaram everybody. Please have your seat.